Hi, welcome to Cracking MBA. Today we are going to talk about linear arrangements. This is part of the DI and LR section. You can also access this video on our Google Play app. So let's move on and see what are we going to cover today. We will discuss some key concepts and solve some questions in linear arrangements and see how to understand solving such kind of questions. So linear arrangements basically consists of a set of conditions which are related to people or objects, and questions are asked based on these conditions. Typically, here we have an arrangement in a row. So we have the sequencing either from the left to right or the right to left as specified in the conditions. So let us look at one sample question and see how the questions are asked based on these conditions. So it's given that Rohit, Mohit, Tinku, Sonu and Udit are 5 friends who are sitting in a row. Mohit and Udit are chuddy buddies and always sit together with Udit on the right side of Mohit. And Rajat only sits at the corners. Tinku likes to sit only in the middle. Now we have been given some conditions, and based on these conditions, questions will be asked. Now the first thing we need to do is do a pictorial representation of the conditions which are given. So we first put L for left and R for right and indicate blanks in between to denote the seating arrangement. So here we are given that all the different friends have different names and the starting letters are different for each of the friends. So let us just indicate them with the starting letters, which is R, M, T, S and U, to make it concise, to save time. So let us first start writing the conditions below. So we can see that Mohit and Udit are always sitting together and Udit is on the right side of Mohit. So the combination is always as MU, okay, where U is on the right side of M. Next condition is Rajat always sits on the corners. So this is Rajat is sitting in the corners. That's another condition specified. And the third one is Tinku likes to sit only in the middle. So that is another condition which I've mentioned. So putting in all the conditions in this manner, 1, 2 and 3, make sure that you're not missing out on any condition that is specified in the question. Okay. Now that we have the conditions jotted down, you don't have to go back to reading the question again because your conditions are all there. If it so happens that it's not possible for you to draft your condition in this manner, say point 4, then probably you will have to remember to go back to the question. But otherwise, you need not have to go back to the question because all your information is there in this 1, 2 and 3 conditions. Okay. Next, what we need to do is do a pictorial representation of this conditions. So here I have mentioned left and right. Okay. So the conditions M and U together. Okay. So it could be M and U over here. R is in the corners. So R could either be in the corner here, right side corner or the left side corner. And T is always in the middle. Okay. So Tinku is always in the middle. So T is in the middle. So there are only 2 possibilities based on these conditions. Okay, it could either be MU, TSR or RS, TMU. Okay, so we are saying M and U are together. Okay, this is condition 1. R is in the corners. So this is condition 2 and T is in the middle. This is condition 3. So all the 3 conditions are being satisfied over here. Okay, and these are the only 2 possibilities of seating arrangement that is there. Now once we arrive at this particular pictorial representation of the seating arrangement, we need not again look at these conditions because this is going to be sufficing. Okay. Now let us look at some of the questions and see how we can actually use this data. So it is known that Sonu always wishes to sit on the right side of Tinku. So who sits on the extreme left? Okay. So now we know on the left side we have only these 2 seating possibilities, and it is given that Sonu always sits on the right side of Tinku. So in these 2 possibilities we can see that only the first possibility is satisfying this. Okay, so Sonu is on the right side of Tinku. So MUTSR is the correct combination. So then it's all about just identifying what the question is asking. Who sits on the extreme left? The answer is very simple. It is Mohit. Okay. So once you have your pictorial representation accurately represented, then all it boils down to is just using that representation to answer every question. Now let's look at another question. If Mohit and Udit have no preference in terms of Udit always sitting on the right side of Mohit, then how many seating combinations are possible? So in the original question, we saw that Mohit and Udit are always cheddi buddies and always sit together such that Udit is on the right side of Mohit. So we said MU is a sequence that is always should be followed. But the question is saying it need not be MU, it can be UM also. Then how many possibilities are there? So it is just about, we already know there are two possibilities, and then if you know the concept of permutations and combinations and maths or in quant, you'll notice that it can be UM or MU. So this will be 2 and this will be 2. So this is listed down here for your understanding. There will be 4 such combinations. Who amongst the following cannot sit at the extreme corners? So if we look at this data here, we do not know what is the exact seating combination for sure. But one thing we know for sure is that T and S both cannot lie on the extreme corners because of how the data is provided, right? So from the options, it's just paused down to looking at the options and we can see immediately that it is Sonu. Okay, Mohit can sit on the extreme corner, Rohit can sit on the extreme corner, and Udit also can sit on the extreme corner, only Sonu cannot. So the answer is A. Next question is, one of them has to bring breakfast for the group, but only the person on the extreme right can bring breakfast. So who should be that person? So basically we are saying, the question is asking who sits on the extreme right corner of this group. So if we see that we have two different possibilities, but we don't know which possibility they're actually sitting in. Okay, so the answer to this is cannot be determined. It could either be Rohit or Udit, but we don't know for sure. So the answer is cannot be determined. Okay, so you need to be crystal clear on what is the seating arrangement to be able to answer this question. Okay. Next question is, it is known that Sonu throws a stone on every alternate person on either left or right. Who amongst the following cannot be hit by a stone thrown by Sonu in the group? Now, if we see these possibilities, we can see that Sonu throws a stone on every alternate person. So it could either be Udit over here, or it could be Mohit. Okay. So question is saying, who amongst the following cannot be hit by a stone? So since Tinku is always beside Sonu, he cannot throw the stone on Tinku. So the correct answer is Tinku. Again, if you look at this question, you can find that even Rohit sits to the right side of Sonu. So even Rohit, it is known that Sonu throws a stone on every alternate person on either left or right. So who amongst the following cannot be hit by a stone thrown by Sonu in the group? So if we see the seating arrangement, we can see that Sonu can throw a stone either on Udit over here, or Sonu can throw a stone either on Mohit. But he cannot throw a stone on either Tinku, who sits on the beside Sonu, or he cannot throw a stone on Rohit, who also happens to sit beside Sonu. So both Rohit and Tinku cannot be hit by a stone, and if you look at these options, the correct answer is Tinku, because Rohit is not mentioned here, and hence the answer is Tinku. So that's it for this session, and we will talk about more numericals in subsequent videos. In the meantime, you can refer to the mock test on linear arrangements in our Android app. Thank you.